Hey guys, and welcome back to Pokémon X. Today's part will take us on a short tour around Dendermill Town, and then out beyond its borders to investigate the Frost Cavern. First things first though, I gotta give some major props, a big old shout out, if you will, to the theme of this fair town. It's actually pretty darn good, and it reminds me a lot of the musical style found in Spirit Tracks. Helldragon, you got any experience with that particular Zelda tile?
Nope.
I'm so glad you're the main co-commentator for this commentary group.
Yeah, I add so much to the conversation, don't I?
Yeah, you add so much volume that I have to lower in post.
You tell me to up it a little bit when I send the parts over.
I say no such thing. Moving swiftly on so you can't counter that statement. This is the move deleter and the move reminder. Honestly, I could have used them, like, maybe 10 or so parts before this, because I was really fiending to relearn a move or two, and here's a good strategy for you. If you find a love disc and you use the move Thief, you can just grab that heart scale and use it to pay the move reminder.
Wait a minute, you can take heart scales from Love Disc? Isn't that like their skin or something? You're like literally ripping off its skin to fulfill your needs. What's up with that, man?
Well, here comes the obvious follow-up joke. What other uses can you get out of a love disc?
Well, that's true, I guess.
So, Dendermill Town, Helldragon, I've got my own thoughts on this little burg, but what do you think?
I think it's a nice change of pace, because, like, you know, a lot of times these Pokemon towns, they're mostly focused around, like, the gym, you know, and that's the main thing. You go to a town, you go to the gym, then you immediately go on to the next town, but here, it's just like a chance to stop, soak in the scenery, and kind of remind you that, you know, Pokemon doesn't entirely have to revolve around gyms. Towns can actually stand on their own, so I think this place is pretty neat.
I don't know whether it's just because I've become more critical or maybe cynical over the years, but sometimes when I go into a town, I go like straight to the Pokemon Center and then straight to the gym, and then, you know, just go on my merry way. And it almost seems sometimes like the town or city itself is a holding ring for a boss fight, and I think it's towns and cities like Dendermill that help flesh out the world a bit more, make it feel more alive. And fun fact, I believe Generation 6 shares something with Generation 3 in that they're the generations with the most towns and cities, and say what you will about Hoenn, but personally it's always been one of my favourites because it's not only massive but it feels alive, unlike Sinnoh, which is big but is split right down the middle and feels kind of dead as a result.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like, it's been a long time since I played, like, Ruby and Sapphire. But, you know, when I was playing Diamond, it really did feel kind of dead, you know? And I can appreciate how, you know, Ruby and Sapphire, and, you know, this game, brings a bit more life to the overworld to make it really feel like it's this big world of adventure, as opposed to just, like, a straight path from gym to gym, you know?
Mamoswine, Helldragon, your thoughts?
It's got a name, and I'm pretty glad about that.
Yeah, it would suck if it didn't have a name. We just have to call it that thing over there.
Swinub evolves into But, it's alright. Okay, you know, I'm not a big fan of Mamoswine, but it looks decent compared to, like, Electivire and Magmortar, which were just completely pointless, in my opinion.
I'm very rarely, like, out-and-out critical of any particular Pokemon, you know. I like to give them a fair shot, as it were. Magmortar fucking sucks.
Yeah, I mean, like, Magmar wasn't that great to begin with, I'll be honest. But then they give him, like, this pointless baby form, which looks dumb. Then they give him this really convoluted evolved form, which also looks dumb. I don't know how you messed it up, but they really kind of screwed up the whole evolutionary path for that guy. Same with Electivire. I'm gonna say it now. Elekid looks stupid. And I know this is Pokemon we're talking about, but Elekid has a damn plug coming out of its head. I'm sorry, I can't take that seriously.
I actually find Elekid kind of cute, but I can see where you're coming from. I think, before we move on, my favourite, like, Gen 4 evolution, you know, that caused a Pokemon from a previous gen to evolve, was the evolution of Magneton, the one, the only, Magnezone.
Magnezone! Yes, I gotta love that sexy voice vibration. That was only in the anime, not actually in the actual game, so that's pretty much the only reason I like it.
Yeah, that's a damn shame. And Yep, this is Beartic. It looks intimidating, but give it a double kick and watch it go down faster than me in a bowl of chocolate ice cream.
Its pre-evolved form was that Cubchoo, I think, from like the Poke Park. Was it the second one or the first one? You know, one of the streams that we did.
I believe it was Poke Park 2 Wonders Beyond.
Yeah, Cubchoo, you know, it's got like a booger made out of ice, and I don't know why you would okay that as a Pokemon design. Yeah, it looks completely ill. Go ahead. Let's throw that guy in there.
Well, it's cute, and again, it can help to sell plushies, which is a plus for Flareon, I guess. Repping the N64 right here. Oh, yeah.
So apparently Mrs. Bogey, and I didn't know this at the time, but Mrs. Bogey is like a character from Banjo-Kazooie, right?
Banjo-Tooie, I think. I think she was referenced.
Okay.
I think she was referenced in Kazooie, but outright seen in levels like Witchy World in Banjo-Tooie.
Now I like how this trainer, you know, after you got finished with the whole wild Pokemon battle, she immediately jumps you with her Doublade. You remember when Doublade got leaked? And everybody thought, like, the first thought in their mind, this guy is fake.
Yeah, that was actually my opinion at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking that too. And even though it eventually did get confirmed, I loved when all the fan edits came out, and, like, the next Evo was a fake edit where it had, like, 8 of the fucking swords all in a circle. I love those things.
My favourite was the one where it's like a suit of armour and he has, like, a massive broadsword. It kind of veered away from the general Pokemon aesthetics. Not really, you know, entering into Digimon territory, so to speak, but I don't think that would have worked at all, unless you know, made it as like a Rotom alt or something.
Yeah, I think as an alt, I think that would have been really cool, because I would like to have like a fucking Dullahan kind of Pokemon. Give me that shit, and I will be all over that, personally.
If you ever encounter a dead end in any dungeon in Pokemon, just start clicking around, because 9 times out of 10, the dev team will have hidden an item in that place.
I love to see, like, I would love to see the kind of trainer who's just sloshing his hand into the snow. There's gotta be something here, you know?
Oh, I found Frostbite!
What happened to the cool trainers? I mean, I know they have ace trainers now, but what happened to the cool trainers? I mean, those guys were cool, you know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering if they're still around, if they got rid of that class, what happened?
Is it okay for me to say they got put on ice?
No, but you might as well go ahead.
Well, I've already done that, so moving on. Okay, well, that's polite.
I can get that off my bucket list. A Raichu shaked its ass at me provocatively, and done.
What is that doing on your bucket list, might I ask?
I'm just saying it might happen, so I prepared for it in advance.
He lives life to the fullest, does our Helldragon. I don't know about you, Helldragon, but this is something that's always kind of bugged me. It's not a deal breaker or anything, but it's just something that, you know, eats away at my very soul, as it were. Psyduck and Golduck, despite having access to, like, Psychic-type moves, and, you know, Psyduck predominantly using moves like Confusion and whatnot in the anime, which is a house of lies and you should never trust it, they're still purely Water-type. Given all the retyping in Gen 6, you'd think they'd throw these two Pokemon a bone. But no, and just to further that fact, why the fuck isn't Celebi part fairy now? It is literally a pixie that flies through time. Is the Fairy Club so exclusive and has such stringent requirements that Celebi can't catch a break? You fucking retype Snubble, so I don't know what's going on in that little pixie mind of yours.
Well, Snubble had it in. You know, he knew other types. That's how he got into the club. That's how it works.
Yeah, it's not what type you are, it's like what types you know.
Yeah, but I mean, I get that, you know. It's so weird that you would think Psyduck and Golduck... Well, fuck, the Psyduck is named Psyduck. Psychic Duck. You think it would be Psychic, but it's not. Meanwhile, Slowpoke and Slowbro, they don't look like fucking water Pokemon at all. But they're water and Psychic. What's up with that?
Yeah, the Pokemon that takes, like, what, 10 seconds, 10 minutes, 10 years to feel pain as a Psychic type? That's like the shittiest Psychic ever. It can't predict diddly dick.
You know what? I'm just having this image of, like, Slowpoke. He's in, like, a cafe. He's drinking his coffee. He puts it down and goes, ow.
What, was that just like emotional pain? Like the girl he liked just like blanked him that day?
Yeah, like 10 years ago he asked out a girl, he didn't really process it, to go, wait a minute, hey!
And that female slowpoke's married and has tons of kids now.
Well, she took so long to have them, I guess.
Yeah, and we don't know where they come from, so I don't know why we're keeping these daycare centers in business, honestly.
Yeah, how did they get funded, now that I think about it? Since they don't actually know where these Pokemon eggs come from. If you don't know where the egg comes from, how can you have a process that lets you make, particular Pokemon that you want? There's no end result. You don't know how to prove it.
The Frost Cavern reminds me a lot of Ice Path from Gen 2, now that I think about it, and you know how I love to squee and rave about Gold, Silver and Crystal, so I'll leave it there. But it's not the hardest of dungeons, really, and again, going back to Ice Path, it doesn't even have block puzzles, so yeah.
It's pretty much required if you have any kind of ice dungeon whatsoever to have, like, slippy, slidey paths everywhere, especially if blocks are involved. Although those are my favorite kind of puzzles in Zelda, so I'm actually kind of okay with that.
Luckily, we don't need the hookshot to beat this particular dungeon. Much like A Link Between Worlds, Nintendo is streamlining every single one of its games, until literally you'll press start on the main menu and you'll reach the end credits.
No, that'll only happen if you pay, ahead of time with the microtransactions. That's how it's gonna work.
Look, I give Nintendo shit, alright, but we haven't reached, like, Dungeon Keeper levels of dickery yet.
Oh god, yeah, and let's hope it never gets that way with Pokemon. Let me tell you what.
Fro, I got a little bit of trivia for this guy. One of our fans on Twitter, I believe his name is Darkness Revolver, I apologise if I said that wrong, he said the original plan for Fro and Sock was that they were going to be like Oni demons and have horns and whatnot, red Oni, blue Oni, to use TV tropes terms. But they removed those horns and I think, turned them into more of what you see today because they clashed with the Weather or Jin trio, Landorus, Fundorus, whatever the fuck the third one was. And while I don't particularly mind Fro and Sock, it would have been cool to see the red Oni and blue Oni duo. I
think, going that direction would have been better for these guys than the Muppets. Because I honestly don't like the Muppets. Then again, you'd really have to do a lot with Sock and Throw to make them interesting to me. They just kind of don't work all around, in my opinion. So I think the horns would have only helped a little bit.
Now, I think Trio has done enough to be able to stand up and say, this is who I am, and I'm okay with being a stereotype. I'll use Dig in the morning, I'll use Dig in the evening, and by God, if I want to use Dig on my lunch break, I'll fucking do so.
Oh, well, thanks, Doug Trio. I'm so glad you made a speech. I don't care. Now get back to work.
Oh, are we just going to ignore the fact that that guy was talking about Pokemon love? It's just love between a man and a Pokemon? Poke love.
Hey, I'm going to ignore it. I don't know about you, but I'm definitely not going to ignore me calling Officer Jenny after this, because this guy needs help, clearly. Now, I still wish you rode Lapras like a surfboard on the water, because that would just be awesome.
I don't think we've reached that deep in terms of customization yet, mate.
Oh, hey, it's Poliwhirl. I haven't seen one of these in a while.
You seem to be like that with every Gen 1 Pokemon, mate. How long has it been since you actually picked up a Pokemon game?
The last one I played was Pokemon Diamond, so it's been a while.
Go outside, find the nearest tree, cut it down and count the rings. That's when I last played Pokemon.
Oh, no, actually, I tell a lie. The last Pokemon game I played was the copy of not Yellow Green. That would be a weird color. No, Leaf Green I had, and I got killed on Brock because I forgot this version of him had Rock Tomb.
Yeah, Pokemon Turquoise, my favourite Pokemon game.
Pokemon Red Blue. You find them all in there, including that weird Pika-Blue everybody talks about. But, I do like Poliwhirl. The original line, was okay. Poliwag, meh, but it's the first one, that's fine. Poliwhirl I like. Poliwrath is like Poliwhirl if he was mad after a bad day at work, I'm thinking. And Politoed is if, he changed his career altogether and nobody wants to hang out with him anymore.
And it's not a grass type, despite being green.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing, you see, a Pokemon of a particular color and you think it's associated with that type. Oh, well, it's yellow. Psyduck must be an electric Pokemon.
Only you, Helldragon. Only you.
Now, does this ice rock in the middle here actually do anything to any Pokemon if you bring him here?
If you bring an Eevee, you can evolve it into a Glaceon, should you so wish.
Were you able to do that in previous generations? Is that the only way to get a Glaceon?
I know I randomly came across an Icy Stone in Gen 5. I can't remember exactly where, but in Gen 4, on the way to the 7th Gym City, it's like a frozen tundra area, and there's like an Icy Stone near the top of that area. So yeah, you can use those stones to evolve Eevee into Glaceon.
Wait a minute, don't they have like an Ice Stone? You know, like the Leaf Stone, Firestone, Thunderstone kind of thing?
No, strangely, but maybe that's because there's so few Pokemon that, like, evolve in that manner.
That's true. You would think one of the Eevees would use, like, a Moonstone to evolve. I thought that would fit with, like, Espeon, but apparently not.
Viewer beware, you're in for a scare.
Yep, it's just as horrible as I remembered, thanks.
My favourite's the Haunted Mask, since you didn't ask.
I liked Attack of the Mutant, because I thought that ending was pretty cool. Like, it wasn't scary, it was like, oh no, here come more adventures. And the Cuckoo Clock of Doom was particularly interesting in that, at the end, everything reverted back to normal, but the kid sister never existed, which I think is like some D4C shit up in here.
Now, there's actually plenty of Pokemon on offer here in the Frost Cavern, and sadly, in this take, I never got to show off Bergmite, which is a Gen 6 Pokemon, and looks strangely like some of the things that crawl around the walls in Frendrana Drifts in Metroid Prime.
I still love how this cave has, like, perfectly carved stairwells for somebody to walk up. Like, who went out and actually carved these?
Well, there was a hiker standing next to the stairs. Maybe he just finished and was taking a break.
I wonder if they would pay them for that kind of thing. Yeah, we need this dangerous cavern. We need that to be wheelchair accessible. Can you take care of that?
When political correctness goes mad.
Oh, what the fuck is Team Flare doing here? Probably something stupid. What a shock.
Stop pissing off Pokemon, alright? Just go have a latte. There's plenty of cafes around Kalos. In fact, I think they may have taken all the cafes in the world. You're not gonna, like, be bereft of a spot to sit down and sip.
I can't wait for them to piss off an Ursaring, and then Ursaring just claws off a guy's face. I'm looking forward to that.
Mate, Ursaring can't do shit. You literally kick it in the face and it goes down.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a classic case of a Pokemon looking intimidating and having nothing to back it up, much like Beartic.
Much like Team Flare, then again they don't look that intimidating to begin with.
More garish than anything, I'd say.
That's for fucking sure.
Yes, please reveal to us your plan, even though you're actually gonna do that anyway, because you ain't the brightest bulbs in the closet.
Alright, come on, let's get it over with. I have commentary parts to record, let's do it.
Yeah, you Nazis, we get it, let's fight.
Alright, it's Nazis, didn't see that before. Come on, let's go. Wow, they sure talk a fucking bunch, don't they?
What's weird about this battle is you'd think it'd be like, you know, a double battle, since Trevor's here. No, it's just one trainer who uses two Pokemon.
Yeah, that's weird because, and it's especially weird since really early on, you had a double battle with Serena against Trevor and Tierno, so I thought they would let Trevor do, you know, a tag battle with you, but they don't for some reason. I don't know why.
I wasn't actually going to switch out Lapras since Ice Beam's super effective against you, but, whatever, I guess.
I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me.
Now you're locked inside that Pokeball until your trainer chooses to heal you.
You got any other losers for me? Come on, I ain't got all day. Oh, Magnet Trick! Whoa, I didn't see that coming.
I just wish, at this point in the game, the enemy would have a more intimidating selection of Pokemon. Now, I'm personally fine with the difficulty level of X and Y, but you gotta shake it up a little bit. I mean, Team Flare don't get anything, like, impressive until, like, maybe 2 or 3 parts from now. And that's, like, what, in-game time, 8-9 hours?
Yeah, I mean, I understand why they did that, you know, for, like, it's an easy way to fill in a lot of battles in the world, give them the same teams and shit like that, but still, man, like, even, like, their admins or whatever, they don't mix things up by having, at least a little bit of different selection of more interesting Pokemon. Like, somebody bust out like a Hydreigon, I'd be all over that shit, and that would actually make them a bit more threatening.
To be fair, like, later in the game, as I said, they do start using certain Pokemon, but by that time, you're kind of wrapping up the Team Flare arc, so it's a bit of a waste.
Yeah, this whole thing is kind of a waste. I'll get more into my thoughts about it when it is finally over, but I do have some particular things I want to say about how Team Flare was handled as a whole.
Come on then, let's see which sucky Pokemon you've got to show off this time.
See, I don't like these girls. Like, they play them up so much as being this intimidating threat, but they look stupid, they wear stupid shit on their face, and this bitch only has one Houndoom! That's it! That's your boss battle!
I gotta agree with you there, mate. Even the gym leaders, and even the Elite Four, actually, don't use that many Pokemon. Like, the last gym leader uses 3 Pokemon. That's a damn shame.
Look, one hit, that's it. That was your boss battle. Awesome, good job.
Now, you could say, well, you're using type advantage, and Lapras is pretty powerful. It's still a boss fight. I expect something on the level of Maxie or Archie, at least.
That's true, they give her her own unique model, and then she proceeds to completely suck at her job. What's up with that? That's such a huge letdown.
All those ace trainers that employ the most marvellous of strategies and get really low YouTube views, whereas these guys here use shit Pokemon, use shit strategies, and yet get millions. What am I even talking about anymore, Helldragon?
I think you're making a topical reference.
Kind of veered off there towards the end.
Man, this song sounds really close to, like, the ending theme in Chrono Trigger. Like, it's almost fucking exact.
I think Nintendo's getting a little bit jelly of other RPGs.
Okay. I thought I read something stupid there, but, it turns out, apparently, that Abomasnow, that Pokemon you barely remember, has a Mega Evo.
Why don't you go and look that up, Helldragon?
Okay, let's go look it up.
You see, the joke here is that I already know what it looks like, and Helldragon is no doubt going to be all derisive about it. See, what did I tell you?
What the fuck is that thing?
It looks rabid. It doesn't look powerful. It looks like it needs to be put down.
I've got spikes of ice coming out of my back. Every day is constant pain. Help me.
Well, folks, that is the Frost Cavern. Yes, Team Flare are dicks. Yes, they were allowed to get away and thus continue with their dickery. But, at least it's not constantly blizzarding anymore in an area that was already covered in snow, so swings and roundabouts, I guess.
Sure, we'll take what we can get. I don't care. I've got commentary to do. Yay!
That was a very comforting sound after, well, not really a hard battle, but still.
They sure pay me a lot to use this machine.
Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you all next time for another episode of Pokemon X. See you then.